everybody? Welcome back to Unqualified Opinions, the show where we may not know much, but we have thoughts. And we're going to be discussing a comparative analysis of Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad and Apocalypse Now by Francis Ford Coppola and their takes on themes of imperialism, morality, and human nature. I'm Jacob.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Jake.
Jace.
And while we were reading Heart of Darkness in class, Brendan kept recommending me to watch Apocalypse Now, and I'm so glad I did because it's an amazing movie. It's goated. Standing on ratings alone, Apocalypse Now has an 8.4 on IMDb and a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Heart of Darkness has a 3.6 out of 5 on Goodreads with 500,000 reviews and 4 out of 5 stars on Common Sense Media. And I thought it was great. I thought the movie was great. I thought the book was great.
Jake, what did you think about the movie?
I thought the movie was great. The especially the pictures throughout the movie kind of did a great job of defining the imagery as the book.
Can you speak on the introduction at all, or maybe where he broke the glass in the intro?
That was a great part where during production that just destroyed him. They tossed the captain into the room with some booze and just told him to go wild. So he was in that room alone and just went crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy scene. You could really see kind of the emotion. It looked like he was on the verge of tears.
No, and the descent into madness, and even when the two other soldiers came in to pick him up from the room, he couldn't really discern reality from his alcohol-induced coma.
Yeah, and you see that while he punches the glass, it literally cuts it. Yeah.
No, and the kung fu, he was really dealing with the human psyche under pressure. Because it's not, the truth is, both Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now aren't about war or empire, but the human psyche under pressure. And we see Captain Willard in Apocalypse Now not even focusing on the war, but dealing with the pressure of being alone and being an army officer without a mission.
Yep.
Right? His sole purpose and function is to have a mission, and he is acting, right, as a soldier without that. So as we see in the movie, he's more or less going crazy.
The reason why, when the soldiers came in and took him to war, that's when you started to see him kind of become more normal again.
Yeah, and it was almost like a Jekyll and Hyde moment where he had a duality of his personalities, and he was when I was in Saigon, I wanted to be home, and when I was home, I wanted to be in Saigon. Where he's dealing with, who is he? Is he the soldier today, or is he the husband today?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and you really see that later on in the film, when they get to the surfing scene that is super famous. Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore in that.
Yeah.
It's even said by what's his name, Captain Willard.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time they go out anywhere, whenever they go on an assault in the movie, he's trying to make them make the area seem like it's more like home when it's not. But the more they try to make an area seem like home, the more they realize it's not.
The more they blow everything to smithereens, the more they realize how awful this apocalypse is.
Yeah, you can't blend the leveling of a village with some sort of pleasure or leisure of surfing, and when they kind of blend the two, pleasure and leveling an entire village, it's just deeply troubling.
Yeah, there's a lot of moral ambiguity within not just Heart of Darkness but also Apocalypse Now. Kilgore is deeply troubled man, and it's awful that there was no...
Yeah, and he almost finds a cathartic release in demoralizing the battlefield around him, right? He's throwing in the movie playing cards on the dead bodies to symbolize a lack of sincerity in the mass murder and the mass killings of these people. And
he kind of throws, you even see, he kind of throws to the side, as people are telling him we just killed these villagers, he just throws to the side. He's whatever, let's talk about the surfing waves right now. Look at these surfing waves.
It's an entitlement of not just imperialism that they take over, that Kilgore takes over. It feels satirical at a point, but it's just so awful, and it's just such a crazy reflection of Kilgore's character.
Yeah, there's even a point where he's going by, and there's a Vietnamese soldier that's dying with his guts are spilled out, and he's about to give them water because it's his last breath. But that last second, someone comes up and just starts talking about surfing. And then he's immediately distracting.
He literally pulls the water away and walks away or he gives it to a soldier and the soldier walks away with it. The guy never got water. That shocked me.
The madness we see in Kilgore isn't some sort of one-off event. It's not sudden, right? It's grown. It's systemic in the nature of his presence in the region and the fact that he's there for such a long amount of time, he's almost desensitized to the death and to the violence and what it is, and almost seeks a sense of normalcy in the murder.
I feel like we see dehumanization and the destruction of man so much in this film, and not just the film but the book as well. Not just Kurtz, but also
The whole entire crew.
Willard and Marlowe
Yeah.
and the crew. When they were in the book and they were having one of the Africans having to fix the boiler to keep going down the river, and they told him if they don't keep it alive, that a demon will come out and kill him. And it just drove this man insane to keep making sure that it stayed alive. And it was just such a...
It was like heartless, and you feel it while reading it.
Yeah. You can...
He's detached from his own body.
Exactly.
Talking about like the being detached from oneself and desensitized to like every single thing around you. Same thing happens with the crew, like in the movie, and the crew in the book. I think like one of the biggest turning points in the movie is the boat scene where you have a boat pulling over like another the Vietnamese boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I think that part of the movie really shows like it turns in from like a traditional war film where it's like arguably a little goofy, like surfing.
Yeah.
And then it turns into like basically a horror film after that.
Yeah, you're confused. Like as a watcher, you're confused when you see that film or that scene because you're like,
Yeah.
like why did they kill these people? Even in the end, like after they find out there's nothing on the boat, it was all for nothing, and then just passes on like nothing ever happened, and they just keep going.
Complete desensitized. Like Captain Willard just kills someone simply to...
Let me ask you this, reflecting on Captain Willard's like monologues throughout the film and his experience, right? Because the film mainly focuses on him. Is madness clarity in a broken world? What do you guys think?
I mean, there's an argument to that because like towards the end, when they finally get to Kurtz, every single person around him, or maybe not every single person around him, but specifically his command that's after him is calling him mad throughout. Just like in the book, like when they're trying to find Kurtz, they're saying that he's mad. When you get to there, he says that he has a sound explanation to like every single thing that he has done, even though they all say that his like actions are cruel.
Yeah, I'd say as Captain Willard is exposed to the horrors of war and the realization of where he is. You know, he's numb to the surroundings, and he's already cracked mentally, I'd say, and morally. And war just shows him more mirrors. It shows him who he is, and it reflects his morality, or the lack thereof.
You guys, is what like kind of caused this? Was it like moral? Like what caused this kind of overall like theme? I guess that we're coming up with here. Is it like moral decay? Is it like imperialism or colonialism in general? Like, what do you guys think?
Moral ambiguity and like just forcing individuals from doing stuff that is not in one's normal nature will cause people to just go absolutely insane.
Yep.
So that's what we see throughout the book. That's what we see throughout the film. The book being like all the issues with colonialisms in the Congo, while in the movie being obviously war, napalm, the absurdity, like the whole entire invasion.
Yep.
Yeah, and I would say, what if the horror isn't out there, but in the mirror? And in fact, the entire movie was a reflection of Kurtz's morality and Willard's morality. And it was two men seeing themselves for who they were. Because throughout time, you know, this transcends through stories, generations. People cannot deal with who they are, and people cannot stand the truth. And in this specific case, it drove good men crazy. War and the desensitization of killing.
Yeah, and there's even an argument, like in real life, when they were filming this, the whole entire movie, desensitization for like all throughout, because the production of the film was so incredibly stressful that the director, Francis Ford Coppola, he almost went bankrupt. He had to mortgage his home just to produce a film, and he was worth like $30 million in like 1970, which like by today is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he there was an action documentary on all this stuff, and his wife was following the whole entire filming this, documenting like how he was reacting, and like him and the whole entire crew were just absolutely going crazy. The crew were so stressed out, they were just going out in the woods and they're where they're living, just getting high every single night. The lead actor, Martin Sheen, he had a freaking heart attack.
And went crazy in the
just
intro of the movie. He went crazy.
Yeah.
He lost it.
Just to clarify, you're just like for the people watching, you're clarifying the crew, like the acting crew for the movie,
acting
not,
crew. The acting
not the
crew
crew
on-
in the
not-
actual like film or the book.
No, not in the film, but like the crew in
actors.
real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were incredibly stressed out, largely because of just like the insane amount of like work that went into the movie. Because like apparently, for every 1 minute of film that there is in the movie, there's 94 more minutes of unused film. Like that's why it took so long to make the film. It was like 2 years of editing, and all the stunts in the movie.
Were carried out flawlessly.
They're carried out. No, I wouldn't say flawlessly because they had to do retakes and stuff.
Is there
but-
perfection in the madness?
I guess supposedly.
Oh, that's a
But-
weird word.
The helicopters, the jets, they used live ammunition in several scenes. Those are all real, and like the U.S. military didn't want to have anything to do with it, so they had to go to the Philippines, where like they're more lenient on the laws.
Yeah, and would you say the helicopters and the use of napalm throughout the films were an example of power without control and like a show of force without justification?
This was Unqualified Opinions. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Jacob.
Chase.
Jake. Brandon.
I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Goodbye, Professor Nesbitt.